Hello fellow teachers, I hope you are doing great. Customarily, the exams are finished and probably you have an idea about the score status of your learners, whether it is satisfactory or not. And this is due to different reasons that can be expressed interchangeably from one teacher to another. Expressly, today I will tackle one of the aspects of teaching that will help you and helped me to improve and also gain the desirable score of my learners. It is known by teachers who are specialized in didactics. The aspect is called the Washback effect. The meaning of this aspect is that the teacher, when he sets the layout and the format and all the elements that are related to the exam, he will look at the content and start preparing his or her student according to the content of the exam. That doesn't mean you are going to give them the exact answers, no. That process, I will explain it recently, and by tackling different characteristics. The first thing that you need to know about the washback effect is that you have to deal with the task content or the exam or a test content. So you have to deal with the exam content. After that, you are going to make what? Make a plan about the grammar, about vocabulary, and also the communicative task that you're intended to implement during the course. So, when we deal with the content and the session that you're going to provide by using this kind of aspect, is related to tasks only by having an overall and revising everything that is included within the sequence. So you will revise everything with your learners without your own interference. This is the meaning. Why we need the washback effect? We needed to invigorate the mindset memory process. Simply put, to make them energetic pupils that remember everything and can perform the task or the exam, as good as it's supposed to be. So this is the goal or the objective of the washback effect. So like I said, the content of the exam, after having the layout, an idea, and also after making your plans, you will deal with a task. So the washback effect deals with multi-tasks. When you deal with the multitasks, obviously the approach that you are going to implement is the task-based approach. Alright. When you deal with a multitask approach, it has to do with a task-based approach. You know it. We have a pre-task, task cycle, and post-tasks. The arrangement that has to do with the task here, you need to let your learners do the task via bus group or per work. So the arrangement should be as follows. You need to set according to your own preference. Okay, so you say you have per work or bus group. It means a type of group work, but only 3 pupils in one group. This is the meaning of bus group. It is not like group work as when you have 4 or 5 students in one group. So bus group. Here to avoid, how you can say it, the misleading situation when your students become talkative and noisy, etc., and forget about the content of your task. So here is the procedures or the arrangement that you need to consider. After that, when you have this, what you're going to do, you are going to reinforce your learners to correct themselves. So you have peer corrections or what? Or a group correction. So from this one, from this side, you will move to the next process, which is group correction or peer correction, or what is called peer correction. They will correct each other. Group A will correct Group B, and the same thing. They will exchange their copybooks, and they will try to correct each other. Your position should be limited. You have done everything, so this is a revision, and all the tasks are being tackled. So here you need to step aside and let your learners engage by themselves to encourage the autonomous learning process. After that, when you have a peer correction or peer correction, so what you're going to do is to produce the correct version of each task. And if you find any kind of mistake, you will ask your learners, is this correct? And let them correct by themselves. So, what we need, correct the given mistakes. By learners, of course, not by you, and you will let them engage indirectly. After that, when you complete the process of task-based approach, you will add another task, and this is just a suggestion from my own, and you can do it or not, but probably is appropriate for communicative task. So you will deal with the correct arrangement according to the exam. So you need to follow the exam. We start with the reading, so you give them a question about reading. Then master of language, give them a question about tasks about master of language that deal with the syntax mechanism, deals with the morphology, deals with the grammar itself, etc. And finally, you will give them pronunciation features by classifying according to the sound. You all know it. The final part and the most important is the communicative task. Then you need to prepare your students for the communicative task. Here you will have different arrangements. So you start with the pair work, then you move to group work. So you avoid bus group or pair work group, and you move to group work. group work, what you need to do is to apply, to stop performing or stop applying the task-based approach and switch to what is called problem-based approach. In the problem-based approach, obviously you will focus on the problem by giving them a situation like you usually do it while designing your exam. You will set a situation about a particular topic, and then you will ask your learners to write a paragraph in the form of website, in the form of blogs, emails, whatever. It doesn't matter. The most important thing that you need to consider about this approach is that you are going to focus on the problem itself by setting a problematic statement, and learners will find the different problems by themselves. They work collaboratively and they identify the problems, and the second phase or the second stage they will try to find a solution about that or those problems. So here is the objective or the intended process. After having this kind of problem-based approach, you will ask your learners to read one by one, ask one representative, obviously this is logic, and to come to the board and read all the read the paragraph or etc. And you will correct them when you hear some kind of mistakes or when you identify misleading expression, etc. So by this, they will prepare thoroughly, all right, and intensively to the exam, or for the exam, sorry. I need to remind you that this aspect should be done, preferably should be done before the exam, just 1 week before the exam, and just to ensure their memory still being activated. This is the aim of why we need to set this aspect before the exam. That was all, and I can assure you that this aspect will help you to achieve the desirable goal, and this has personally helped me a lot to gain or to help my learners or to improve my learners with the expected score or the positive scores. That was all. Thank you very much for your kind listening, and see you for the upcoming video.